Thank you guys so much. If you can, really quickly, if everybody could just stand really quickly. That's actually not part of what I was planning on doing, but I like detours. I just, we're at the end of 2 days, and I've been to countless events like this. Hasn't this event been amazing? Yeah. Have you guys all, do you have action items? Have you written any action items down? Something, yes, when I get back, I got to do this. Has that happened? Yeah. Yeah? Awesome. Cool. So we're at the end of this thing, and something that I like to do, just to resync, and I'd like you to resync with me, is just take a deep breath really quickly. One more. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you guys go ahead and sit down now. A guy walks into a bar. Yes. And he says, "Bartender, get me some soup." Bartender gives him some soup. He's staring at the soup, this grumpy old man. And the bartender comes back and he's like, "Is everything okay with your soup?" And he says, "Taste it." "I'm not going to taste your soup, sir." "Taste the soup." "Well, sir, do you not like your soup?" "Taste the soup." Is it too hot? Is it too cold?" "Taste the soup." He's like, "Okay. Where's the spoon?" "Aha. Aha." Yeah, there's no spoon. I love that joke. It's so stupid and almost has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I just like jokes. Anybody know what movie that's from, though? Yes! Awesome. Thank you. Tell me something. Who said that? Coming to America. You own a business?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Tell me about your business.
I do mobile IV, TRT clinic, and help people get their hormones in check and get some blood work done.
Awesome. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel. Good to meet you. I'm David. David Shea.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, definitely, man. So tell me about your core values in your company.
Core values is to do what's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do what's right.
Even when it's not easy.
Okay. I love it. Do what's right, even when it's not easy. That's a good core value. Anybody else own a business and have a core value that they want to talk about? Yes. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Tyler.
Tyler. What business do you have?
We created the first acid-free coffee.
Okay. And tell me about your core values.
So the core value is that we created this coffee so that there's people out there that have stomach-related issues. They can't drink coffee anymore. So we created a solution to a problem. And I think every business out there needs to figure out the solution to the problem that they're trying to fix.
Beautiful. And so specifically, what would the core value, like if you had to put that into a word or a phrase or core values, plural, what would that breakdown be?
It's simple. The core value is we help. That's it.
Okay.
We like to help.
I love that. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for indulging me. So as you can tell, in fact, I don't think I need this anymore because I got this thing. I'm just going to put this over here. I'm going to be talking about core values today. And but before we jump into that, let me give you guys a little bit of background. Not a lot of you, I don't think almost most of you, unless you've met me today or yesterday, know who I am. So my name is David Shea, and as I was introduced, I'm the owner of Active IT Solutions. I started this company 22 years ago, just out of high school. And I've owned businesses all my life. My dad inspired me of owning businesses. He told me a story about how when he was really little, he stole firewood from his dad and went and sold it. And but it's funny, it's just a little story. He sold firewood, neighborhoods. He actually got in trouble and got grounded for stealing, but from his dad. But I was like, you know what? Okay, I get it. So I have a commodity, and I sell it, and I get money for it. That's easy enough. And then my dad raised me to, we didn't really get clothes or shoes or toys or anything unless it was Christmas or birthday. So we learned very early on when you're at the store, and how many of you guys have kids here? And you drag your kids to the store, and they're just like pulling shit off the shelves, and you're like, no! And you're like, but I want it, right? We learned very early on that that's pointless. It's not going to happen. But if you want something, you can still get it. You just got to figure out how to get money. You got to earn it. Exactly. You got to earn it. So I just did different businesses. My dad was also a hobbyist in computers. So he would bring back all these different motherboards and processors and memories and chips and boxes and stuff. And so I was introduced to computers early on. And then he'd have like just piles of whatevers. And I'd put them together, and I built my first computer when I was 8 years old. Pretty cool. And that granted me, along with having access to his computer, access to the internet before it was really even the internet. You guys ever heard of like BBS, before web browsers? Not a lot of people. Maybe Chris, my CTO. There was no web browsers. It was just like a bulletin board broadcasting system thing, right? But I had access to it. It was pretty cool. Got access to different information as I was going through school, even elementary school, got into middle school. And in middle school, one of my favorite businesses that I started was, talk about supply and demand. You know, what do 13-year-old boys in middle school, what do they become very interested in? Porn. And what was the internet made for? Porn. There's a song written about it. The internet is for porn. It's a real thing, I promise. Look it up. The internet's not for porn. It is, but whatever. That's a different conversation. That's not the conversation we're having. But being a computer kid and nerd and having internet, I downloaded a bunch of porn every single week. I put it on these floppy disks, and I would sell them for $5 a piece. I made a killing. Until my mom put me out of business, found my inventory, locked out the computers, got yelled at by my dad very loudly so my mom could hear, but then he's like, fuck yeah. I'm not lying, if my son did that, I'd probably respond the same way. I mean, yes, I'd be like, dude, okay, let's have a talk. But, like, fuck yeah. Whatever. Man, I'm a messed up person. It's because of the internet. So now I'm dealing with locked out computers, and I have to step into this new age of dealing with computers called hacking. And all hacking is, and every entrepreneur is technically a hacker in some way, shape, or form, is where you come up against a problem, it goes, you don't have the password, access denied, you're locked out. And a hacker says, well, how do I step around this and have access? So then I spent my teenage years learning how to do this, and for better and for worse, actually learned how to access AOL by, there's this really cool virus that was on everybody's computers before people knew what viruses were, and I had a program, would put like an IP address scheme in there, and it would give me a whole list of people's systems, and I just open them up, boop, I got access to their systems. And I could steal their AOL passwords, I could open and close their floppy drive or their CD-ROM drive, I could make their screen go blank and say, the Matrix has you if I wanted. Whatever I wanted. If they had a webcam, which didn't work very well on dial-up, I could look at them. I didn't because I didn't want to know what I would see. But yeah, so that was my teenage years. Finally, I turned 18 and realized this is kind of a felony and I don't want to go to jail. I'm going to stop that. And I need to make money. I didn't have a car. Want to make money, so I started Active IT Solutions. Originally called Computer Guys, I rebranded, but we're just going to call it Active IT Solutions. So I started Active IT Solutions and start making money pretty damn quick. This flyer that says, free. You will be free from computer problems. Is your computer running so slow? Are you getting a bunch of stupid pop-ups? This is around the time when all those pop-ups were happening and people didn't know what to do with it. And so what did I do? I made that flyer, made a bunch of money. Instead of skateboarding people's houses, eventually, very quickly, I could drive to people's houses. Then I got some businesses. I learned about reoccurring revenue models. And I grew my company. I learned, and I learned, and I learned, and I grew, and I grew, and I grew. And so fast forward to today, I got 16 full-time employees and company's thriving. We have clients all over the country, and we're a multi-million-dollar company. We're working on a partnership right now that's going to hopefully within the next several years elevate us to nine-figure monies there. It's going to be great. Yeah, thank you. So that's my background. But the biggest shift started in 2017 when some glass ceilings were broken, and I realized I need to become a better business owner than computer guy. And that was the shift that took me on a much deeper journey, an intentional journey of studying how to be a business owner, how to stop being the operator and be more of the guy who's building in leadership, in communication, in empathy, Empathy is a very important skill to have as a business owner. I didn't really understand that. So that's where the core values come into play. Anybody here familiar with traction, the EOS model, Gino Wickman? A couple hands. I strongly recommend it. If you own a business, learn about traction, implement that. The rest of what I'm going to be talking about is less about the what and more about the how. I want to dive in here to specifically core values and how to use these core values. I'm actually going to literally show you my process, how I developed core values. You know, we learn a lot about the what. I'm going to give you some how, some tangible tools you could put into place in your business, and I promise it's going to transform everything uniquely. Core values, what are they? It's going to be the secret sauce for your business. It's what's going to make it uniquely awesome. And by uniquely, I mean uniquely to you, because it's your personality, and it's the core of your business. This is not a tired marketing term. You know, growing up in business, I've heard about core values. Oh, you got to have core values because, right? And that's all I ever got from it. I'm like, okay, core values, what am I about? And pull up a dictionary and be like, trustworthy, that's a good one. Good looking, that's my core value. Failed at it. But it's the compass, it should be the compass for every part of your business. Should be. But a lot of people, they'll have a core value. It's a tired marketing term. That's what I find most people think, right? It should be gauging performance. It should dictate the quality of the clients that you want. And more importantly, help you understand who you don't want. Because not all money is good money. That's a big lesson that I failed to understand that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And finally, it's going to help you to develop a cult level following. And that's what I really want to dive into. It's what, did I break this? There we go. I want to show you guys how, and I'm going to use a couple examples, you could take your clients from buying what they need to buying from you what they can't live without. Buying what they need to buying what they can't live without. And that's what we want. We want to be sticky to the point to where they're like, you know what? Even I can't afford this, but I can't live without this. I need this. It's like crack. I don't do crack anymore. I never have once. Sorry. So guiding principles, core values. What are those? There's going to be guiding principles for everything I mentioned. That unique. It's going to be the heart of your USP. Unique selling proposition. This is the thing that makes you unique. And your core values, they should be polarizing. Let me give you an example of a company that's done a great job with this. How many of you guys love Starbucks? Okay. How many of you guys hate Starbucks? Yes. Polarizing. Thank you. But Starbucks does a great job with their core values. One of their core values is that they want to provide a warm environment where you feel like you belong. How do they do that? Well, they do that simply by coming up with witchcraft-based drinks that they have the audacity to call coffee. Anybody ever make the mistake of saying, "Hey guys, I'm doing a Starbucks run. Anybody want anything?" Yeah, it's a mistake, right? Oh yeah, there's always that one person. I want to have this venti grande, blah 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 blah. You kind of check out, just write it down. But then they put your name on it. They have these emotionally charged sizes. They don't just use small, medium, and large. No. They have grande and venti, right? And so they do this really great job, and then you feel like you belong. Anybody ever been kicked out of Starbucks for hanging out there, having a meeting? Maybe you didn't even buy anything, you just got some water? No, because you belong there, right? There are people that cannot live without their witchcraft wannabe coffee Starbucks. It's a thing, right? And that's what you want. And so that's what I'm going to teach you today. And I've developed a really cool roadmap. Thank you, ChatGPT. Core, C-O-R-E, for core values. Right, I'm not that smart. ChatGPT helped me with this 100%. So collaborate, orient, refine, elevate. This is how you're going to get there. This is the exact process that I used to take me from having it be a tired marketing term to literally be in the very fabric of your company. So collaborate. First, you're just going to throw words on a wall. And by collaborate, you can't do that by yourself. If you try to collaborate with yourself, that's weird, and you need to go see a doctor. If you got a team, if you got employees, bring them in. If you got a husband, you got a wife, bring them in. You got friends, bring them in. Or here's a novel idea. Call your clients. Ask them, hey, you've been doing business with me for a while. Why do you do business with me? If you can identify in one word or in a phrase what our core values is, what would that be? Throw it on the wall, right? Collaborate. Okay, from there, here's a picture of Chris over here. He's helping us with this. We are collaborating. And so then after you throw everything on a wall, what you're going to do is you're going to organize everything by genre. And you're going to encourage debate with the people you're collaborating with. And you're going to fight for the word that belongs at the top. And those are what's going to become your core values. So we landed on trustworthy, excellence, and wow. Wow came from a book by Tony Hsieh, now deceased, God rest his soul. But awesome book called Delivering Happiness. Write that book down. It's a great book. Delivering Happiness, Tony Hsieh. Next, you're going to orient. Okay, so orient. You're going to find the reason, and let me back up here. So you're going to find the reasons why trustworthy or excellence or wow means something. Because if you say, my core value is trustworthy, excellence, and wow, great, what does that even mean? Right? And you need to be able to orient reasons behind them. Right? But not just individually, but also corporately. Why do these core values work the way they work? So you're going to orient these things. You need to orient the why. From there, you're going to refine. So I lived with these core values for, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. Even spent money on them, put them on the wall. I had people that were looking at these, and it wasn't sitting well with me. Because there's all these bullet points, and nobody could remember them, and nobody could remember the why, and it just wasn't it. You ever have an idea, and it's just not it, until you refine it enough, and then you're like, that's it. And let me give you an example of that. So this is now what our core values are. Integrity, communication, and excellence. And let me talk to you about my core values for a minute. I'm always providing this for the purpose of giving you the idea of what cohesive core values can and should and look like for anybody. Right? So integrity. Integrity is the foundation of everything that we do in technology. We step into a space where we have access to typically more than the owners do within their company. We have access to their money, their data, their clients' data. We're assigned with protecting it and perfecting it. We can make or break a company intentionally. We would never do that. But also unintentionally by not doing our job. Integrity is everything. And if you don't trust your IT person, if you don't trust that they are the expert on your behalf, that has your best interest in mind, and you could take it to the bank every single time, fire them. And I've had clients, I've told them, you need to fire me because I keep giving you a suggestion, I keep giving you advice, and you're not taking it. You don't trust me. You question every single invoice we send. I have to legitimize everything that we do for you, and it's just not working. We can't do our job. Where there's no trust, there's no IT. So integrity has to be the foundation. Next is communication. Communication sits on top. The reason why excellence isn't there is I teach my guys, nobody's going to care if you do a great job in computers if they had a terrible experience with you. If you give them a terrible emotional experience along the process of fixing something, they're not going to care that you fixed it. They're going to hate you. You could be the best computer tech in the world, but if you fail in communication and you leave them not knowing what's going on, they have a deadline at 2 o'clock, they called at 8 o'clock, you've been fixing it in the background, maybe you sent them an email, they couldn't read it because their computer's broken, and this happens. I don't make this stuff up, I swear to God. And they're pissed off, and you call them, it's just in the nick of time. They're, hey, good news, I bent over backwards, I saved the day, you're good. And they're like, I have another IT guy coming, I thought you forgot about me, I didn't even know anything was going on. I called and they said you were out to lunch. But I got it fixed. It was a really hard problem. I'm awesome. They're like, fuck you. Failure for communication. Communication first. You could be a lesser computer tech, an amazing communicator, and they will love you. Finally is excellence. Obviously, we got to do a good job. We got to do a good job. And I convey this. I convey this to my clients when we do strategic technology reviews. When I'm meeting with new clients, I just won the city of Calamasa as a client earlier this week. Just got that bid literally within 24 hours, which doesn't happen. And that's because I opened up with core values, and they loved them. They were eating out of my hand because they're like, yes, that's what we want. I'm sick of people abandoning us. So I spoke their language. This is what we're about. These are the standards we hold ourselves to. And more importantly, these are the standards I expect you guys to hold us to. Once you have it, you've thrown it on the wall, you've identified it, you've fought over it, you've marinated over it, you've refined it. Now this is where the most important part of all this is. Take a screenshot of these right here, because you need to inject your core values into these areas, into your story, into your messaging, into your culture, into your client experience, your SOWs, your scope, into the standard operating procedures, your systems, your processes, the way you train your people, the way you hire your people, fire your people, how you hire, not hire, but you bring on clients, knowing they're the right clients, that they're in line with your values, and if they're not, firing them. I have released clients, I've fired my clients, because they wouldn't trust us, and they were making our lives hell, and they were a liability that was damaging us and making it to where we could not fulfill our promises, because it's a relationship. We have to partner with our clients. If they don't trust us, and I don't know why they wouldn't. Why would you ever let somebody work for you that you don't trust? It just doesn't make sense to me. So if that integrity piece, or they're terrible communicators and they're always getting pissed at us, not because we're not communicating, but they're not communicating. And then finally, if they're not appreciating the excellence we do, if they're just not in line with our core values, then they're gone. I made a mistake of bringing somebody on for corp that was against our core values. They're paying us $30,000 a month. We were growing 30 to 40% year over year, and all of a sudden we get this giant client making more money than we've ever made, and somehow we only grew 3%. And it's because they completely dominated over us. They completely took over the company. They thought that they owned us. They treated us like crap. I was neglecting my other clients, and it injured us for years. Had I had more of my core values in place, that would have insulated and protected us. Finally, the sales process. And I don't mean sales process in terms of just sales exterior, but also interior. And this is where I'm talking about turning your client base into a fan base. When you build it into your communication, this is what we're about, and you pour over it, and you give that what you're about, built into every fiber, and you train your staff to do the same thing, you're going to have cohesion across every area of your business. And it's not going to be confusing for them anymore. If you confuse, you lose. And people aren't going to really be able to jive with that. They need to know. Everybody knows what Tesla's about. Everybody knows what Apple's about. Everybody knows what Starbucks is about. Why does everybody not know what you're about? Right? You know what I'm about. Now I just explained it to you. So collaborate, orient, refine, and elevate. Has this been helpful for you guys?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you have some specific things you could take away today? Yeah. Awesome. So a guy walks into a bar. Orders some soup. Bartender, get me some soup. He gets some soup. He's staring at the soup, and the bartender shows up. Everything okay? He's like, taste the soup. I'm not going to taste your soup. They go back and forth. There's no spoon. Fortunately, this company had some core values. Their core values: extreme ownership, service equals love, and go above and beyond. So what did he do? Did he blame the guy who was setting up the table for not putting a spoon there? Did he make excuse? No, he didn't. He said, no problem, sir. I'm going to take care of this. Runs back there. Service over love. He understands through empathy that bowl of soup's not warm anymore. Brings him a fresh bowl of soup. Here's your spoon, sir. Takes away. Is there anything else you need? No problem. Finally goes above and beyond. When he finally gets the bill, notices that soup was comped, and the next time he comes in, there's a free soup. If that was your experience, how would you feel about this place? Kick ass, right? Would you be a fan? Would you tell other people? You think that $2, $3, or whatever it cost for that soup was well worth it? Yeah, right? That's core values in action. He's happy. Sorry, I was dying over this one. It was so stupid. All right, I just want one more thing from you guys. Do I have your commitment that any actions that you took, not just from my speak, through these past 2 days, do I have your commitment that you're going to act on them? If so, raise your hand and go, huh! Thank you. My name is David Shea. I want to connect with you guys. My Instagram's there. Reach out to me. I can't wait to dig deep and meet you guys. Answer any questions you have. I am at your service. That was amazing.
looked way better than you could possibly imagine.
Awesome.
Way better.
All right, man.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
That was fun.
One more rock star for you. Good job, brother.
Thank you.
I don't know where Ray went, but we'll just do it from here.